Good evening, all of you. Good evening, and welcome to our Sky High Symposium 4. And we are every Wednesday for in our from by our women members empowerment committee and our theme with our theme empowerment to excellence. Giving platform to women members as a speaker, as a coordinator, and it is our endeavor to serve the best to the women members and all the members of the institute. So with this welcome note, I welcome and introduce today's session speakers, CA Padmashri Cresto and CA Kejriwal, CA Vinita Kejriwal. And we have our own Central Council member, CA Pramod Jain, and who is the chairman of Accounting Standard Board. Since the topic for the day is various opportunities in accounting and assurance, we thought, let us invite our own chairman, Accounting Standard Board, to have his opening remarks and words of wisdom. So I invite Pramod ji to share his words of wisdom. Over to Pramod ji.
Thank you very much, Preeti ji, the Vice Chairperson of the Women Members Empowerment Committee, our new council member from Mumbai, who's the past chairperson of WIRC2. She's also the vice chairperson of the very important committee, the Corporate Law and Corporate Governance Committee. And her contribution to not only these two, but others also is really remarkable. And the whole council is looking forward to you, Preeti ji, for that. I welcome both the speakers today, CA Padmashri Cresto and also CA Vinita Kejriwal. The topics for them is really very, very exciting, I would say. And also all the three coordinators, CA Anjali Choksi ji, CA Mamta Seth ji, and CA Manisha Biyani ji, all the three. Really, if I talk about Women Members Empowerment Committee, a very important committee, I would say here. And also, just to share you a small views that last year this committee made a representation to the council that all the posts of any committee should not be chairman or chairman or vice chairman, but to make it general neutral to be chairperson and vice chairperson. And the same was accepted by the council, and that has been sent to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs for their final approval, because everything in institute moves through for the change in the regulations to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. WMEC has been empowering not empowering women, but the knowledge base which has been shared by WMEC is really remarkable. And not only knowledge sharing, but also giving adequate opportunities to the women to bring out their talent on the subjects, or the technical subjects and other subjects. For example, today Padmashri would be talking about the opportunities in accounting and Ind AS. Padmashri has been contributing to a great extent to the institute over the past several years, and she has been contributing to WIRC2. One of the publications which is very close to, as far as I know, her heart is about the financial statements and auditing for the non-corporates. And taking her benefit, we have taken her help in also coming out soon with a publication for bringing out the illustrative financial. Bringing it, she is now special invitee to the Accounting Standard Board too. So the topic accounting opportunities and Ind AS both. Very interesting and very, very helpful to the movement members. Because if I talk about, and of course, not only women members, even male members, to everyone it is. Accounting is the basic for
I think Pramodji will be back soon. Yes, sir.
yes, there is a network issue out here.
Yeah,
I'm at
yeah, yeah, yeah.
one
We
of the remote
understand.
areas. I I suppose now you are able to hear me. Fine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it a bit better now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfectly all right,
So
sir.
thank you, thank you,
And in fact,
thank you,
rather,
Preeti
I
ji.
should have said that
So if I talk of,
last year, yeah, last year, from one more introduction actually, last year, Pramodji was the vice chairperson of Women Members Empowerment Committee, and lot of activities have happened last year also. And sir, under your guidance only, we are taking this further because you have made the foundation of this WMEC so strong. We are taking this further, and we are taking lot of guidance from Pramod ji. So thank you very much. So please, over to you.
that is so kind of you for the kind words, Preeti ji. You are doing a fantastic job. And if I talk about WMC, you must see all those who are currently seeing this podcast. You must see the website WMC, wmec.ici.org, which is a fantastic website, and which also
सर आवाज ब्रेक हो रही है. Actually, he's at remote place.
I suppose the
Sir, you
network
are
is very
audible
poor, so
now. Sir,
I'll
you are
just
audible
talk
now.
now. And my, yeah, I am audible, but the network is so weak that it is going off and on. So I'll close in a minute that one should go to that website and register for because it contains a database where a female can register and offer her services for in a flexible time mode also. So that is being popularized by WMC. So one should go to the website. And the topics today, both opportunities in accounting and India's, as well as the importance of financial literacy for women, both are really very important, because once a woman in a family is literate, the whole family, the whole country becomes literate. So that is very, very important in my view. And we as a chartered accountant should help non-chartered accountants, females also, to get a bit of financial literacy. This will help the country as a whole. My best wishes to the committee. Preeti ji, thank you for inviting me. In absentia, the chairperson also, CA Sri Priya Kumar. They both are doing a fantastic job, and my best wishes, and happy have a great learning session. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Pramod Jain ji, for your opening remarks. And really, it matters a lot as you are a senior and being part of this WMEC. It will help us around and to take this further. Thank you very much, and accept this thanks from the bottom of our heart. Thank you very much, sir, for your guidance. And now let us take this further. We have two sessions. As Pramodji has said, first session will be taken up by CA Padmashri Krashto on on opportunities in accounting and Indias, and another session on financial literacy, the importance, by CA Vinita Kejriwal. Padmashri is from Mumbai and Vinita is from Kolkata. We have three coordinators and all my dear friends. See Anjali Choksi, who happens to be the vice chairperson of Ahmedabad branch. See Mamta Seth, who happens to be the joint convener of Ghatkopar Study Circle. And see Manisha Biani, who is a managing committee member and executive committee member of Central India Regional Council. So all these three coordinators have done wonderful job. They are from different regions, the speakers, and this is the beauty of the virtual mode. Okay, we all are together from different parts of the country, And with this, I think we can exchange a lot of ideas, share a lot of knowledge, and also we can share and exchange the work. So going forward, our theme that all the women becoming capable and more able to share their knowledge, share their work, so that get more work. And this is the objective of WMEC, to be taking together everyone. That is what is a sky high symposium. So, with these words, I request CA Mamta Seth to introduce our first speaker, CA Padmashri Cresto.
Thank you, Preeti Madam. I thank Women Member Empowerment Committee for giving me this opportunity. Before introducing today's speaker, I want to give a gratitude and thank you to Preeti Madam, because I have just requested her that even I want to be part of this committee, and in no time she just took me as a coordinator for today's meeting. So I thank you for that. She's the one who is always reachable and helping for not only for a started accountant only, also for us article student. She has given various opportunity to the women chartered accountant and various platform for as a speaker, coordinator in the various study circle, also the WIRC and a WELL committee, which she has given even me as a speaker as an opportunity. I have learned from her, and looking at her success, one quote I always remember, that I never dreamed about success, but I worked for it. So that is what I am learning from her, that success is, for success you have to work for it, not only dream for it. Thank you, Preeti Madam. Thank you so much. Now I will introduce today's speaker, CA Padmashri Crasto. She is a partner at Audit Assurance Practice at MSAB Associates LLP. She is having 17 years of expertise in area of technical support, quality assurance, risk management, statutory audit, tax audit, IPO, and certification. She has in-depth knowledge of standard of auditing, quality standard, IFRS, company law, Ind AS, accounting standard, etc. She imparts various training program about the above subjects. She is a contributor to the various WIRC publication. She is a member of SA and Ind AS committee of WIRC, and she was a past member of Allied Law Committee. She is a technical review for ICI Awards for the excellence in the financial reporting from previous year. With this brief introduction, now I request Padmashri Crasto to take the charge. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mamta ji, and wholehearted thanks to Preeti ma'am, who has been always there for any support that we require, or even on a quick message that she reverts to all of us. And thanks to Pramod ji, I know he has left the call. So I would like to start sharing the screen, and please confirm whether you can see the screen and hear me as well.
Yeah, we are able to see.
Okay, great.
Opportunities in accounting and in this, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So actually, it's the presentation is smaller, but I think it's more of a discussion, interaction. And please feel free to pose the questions or anything that comes across, or thoughts that run across the mind while we are, thinking of this as a topic. I would say that this is the world is large. So when I started my career, when I started the practice, I would say few of the things that I came across, and few of the, in the initial years, you try few of the things and try to, kind of get into what suits me, what doesn't suit me, what is the area in which I can, my interests are involved. So in that expedition, in a year and a half, I settled down in auditing and accounting. And from that year till now, I am into auditing and accounting, and I feel somewhere that that is very close to my heart and I connect completely with it. So I try to, various career opportunities that have grown. Now, initially there were not, if you talk about 17 to 18 years ago, it was not so many opportunities, but yes, definitely there are a lot of things that have come up in these years, and world has grown smaller instead of bigger, because of the connectivities that we have, because of the virtual modes that we have, because of the work from home that we have. So many opportunities have opened up, so many doors have opened up, and we are able to access work, we are able to access talent, we are able to access and share knowledge across board freely, across platforms freely. So for example, someone sitting in a otherwise sitting in a smaller town or a tier 2 city was never thinking of working with on a very large assignment or with a very large firm, which is very freely happening today. Many offices are, many companies, firms are setting up nodal offices, which they call, and those nodal offices actually acquire talent. They are never asked to come to any of the metro city, but then they continue to work as the team members, and they continuously contribute and be part of of the larger teams and get into complex engagements and have those opportunities. So just wanted to freely discuss all the thoughts, so please feel free to share the thoughts and whatsoever, any questions, thoughts that cross your mind. So basically in the table of content is very precise, only a small introduction, and then what is the career scope, what are the challenges, what are the opportunities, and then in the Ind AS, what are the challenges, opportunities, and then how ICA is also taking up certain things so that we can actually freely interact. So there is increasing complexity of financial reporting. So once upon a time, we were only on accounting standards. Now there is Ind AS. There are many assignments of IGAP, Ind AS, and also US GAAP, US gas going on in this country, because if you say that we can, if we do CPA, then you can be a public, certified public accountant, and then you can be certifying few of the US entities sitting here. And if you are a public registered firm, foreign entity, public registered firm with PCOB, you can even sign a listed company over here, or look at the accounts of the listed companies over here. So that's a specialized knowledge one can acquire. So the world is growing smaller day by day, and opportunities are increasing every day. There is a lot of complexity in financial reporting. Earlier, the team of accountants in the larger company used to be smaller, and they used to handle everything. But then now, if you look at these accounting standards or the Ind AS, the applicability of those. Now, if you take a bank, for example, so bank has so many circulars, master circulars applicable to it. So that provides a lot of opportunity for everyone to be in the consulting and other modes, for example. And if you take 109, which is humongous standard, to comply with, you will have to take a lot of help. So there is a lot of complexity in the financial reporting, and also rapid changes. The schedule 3 has changed drastically this year. The number of disclosures, 27 additional disclosures, and in caro 16, 17 additional clauses. These have all actually in a way created opportunities for, in many ways, because many of the companies do not have that competency to prepare all these things by themselves, because it is management's responsibility to prepare the financial statements, to do the accounting as per that, and to do the disclosures. So they are not having all that expertise, and obviously it is coming to it's an open opportunity that can be grabbed by any of us. Financial reporting challenge is also driven by various developments in the financial reporting environment, with significant changes across many areas and further waves of change that are expected in the upcoming years. So as we are talking of this schedule 3, I think something new is already brewing. There will be some more disclosures that will come. There will be some more accounting that will come. We are talking of 109 now. Revision is expected. IFRS 17, for example, for insurance companies is such a large opportunity, for example, because today the expertise of implementation of IFRS 17 is with very, very limited people, handful of people. Okay, so in international market, IFRS 17 will be applicable from 2023, and they are already preparing for it. but then in India it may be applicable after 25, but then after 24 or 24 IRDA has not yet decided. But implementation of IFRS 17 is going to be such a humongous task, because everything from software to the hardware to the application, everything has to be changed. The way you account for the insurance policies will 360-degree change. So these are, some of the examples of the amount of opportunities that you will be able to garner because of the changes in the regulatory and also in the development of rapid changes in the regulatory and the development of this entire standards. Need for financial reporting advice is very much driven by very wide concern. So companies have hired and their accounts team, but then the way we are actually trying to upgrade ourselves, the company's accounting personnel may not be able to upgrade themselves, and they are continuously in the hunt of consultants or implementation partners who can actually work on those things. So maybe there are wide concerns due to mergers, acquisitions, various IPOs. So there was a flood of IPO in the last year. The market was good, and then we have seen a flood of IPO. India's largest IPO is around the corner. So we can imagine how many people were involved in making that IPO happen. And it's not only about the merchant banker. It's about from the place to from the disclosure to the accounting to the restatement and everything. So much of effort is required by such a large team. Also significant system changes. Now we have got that postponed, that audit trail and things like that has to be there, which is a requirement of audit report also, that has got postponed, but then it's just postponed for a year. So that also brings up new opportunities. Also new products, business strategies. There was a time when we used to deal with hard money, then the plastic money, then the e-money, and now you have digital money, which is not money, basically digital currency, which is crypto and all. So there is so much of widening of horizon that has happened, and so many doors have opened. Today when you go into the market, and then if you're saying I have got only cash, then actually people are looking at you in a strange way. Anywhere and everywhere, from a small time hawker to a large departmental store. If you have e-money, that is, you have whatever, Paytm, Google Pay, any pay, all these things are so handy. All you have to carry is only a mobile. So technology is improvising. Things are improvising in a larger thing. There are working groups across. There are boards which need more technology, technical people. There are for example, there is also a pressure on the regulator or the guiding board. ICA has to continuously come up with so many guidances. So one guidance on division 1 and 2 and 3 of schedule 3 is done. Now that implementation guide on rule 11A, 11E is there. So those are also learning opportunities. So there is so much to be done, and whatever you do, there are some gaps, because things are so fast moving and things are so rapidly changing that it is difficult to cope up with them, and it is difficult to actually hold them. But that is creating, in other words, that is creating a lot of opportunity. So profession in accounting is one of the top career choices as marked by the students of India. If you see, there are certain surveys that are done by these websites, who actually give career advice and things like that. So profession of accountancy is always there, and then in India, in abroad, everywhere, profession of accountancy is a I would say well nurtured and well paid job as such. So I know there are limitations to fees, there are client issues and all that thing that we all struggle on. But there are lots of opportunities out there, and you need to be smartly choosing what you need. In short, whether you are into a crypto business, whether you are into a fruit business, whether you are into a cement business, whatever type of business, whatever type of company, manufacturing, dealing, whatever, you need an accountant. That's for sure. You need an accountant. You may have a CFO, CEO doubling his hat, but then you need an accountant for sure. And then you need someone who can control the accounts and who can look at the money. So money matters are always there to stand. And if you form a company, then obviously there are compliances, there are matters that has to be looked into, professional advices, and all those. So even to judge the success or failure or a plan for the future, you need an accountant. We have so much of, ledger balancing, bank reconciliations. So if we talk about opportunities, these all individually, these items, if you see, these all can be broken up into individual opportunities. So everyday business, so accounting for everyday business, for example, as simple as a toll collection, that agency also outsources collection and accounting. Daily journal balancing, larger companies do outsource some of the daily journal balancing, this thing. Bank reconciliation, if you look at larger insurance companies, larger retail companies, retail chains and all, they all outsource this bank reconciliation process to a set of people, as we know. Then various, preparation of financial statements, advising them on the financial statements, all these are actually opportunities if you all put across. Obviously accounting helps in any field, and then for any company to come up and for statutory compliances, because in India as of now, every company which is formed under Companies Act has to file its annual report, file its auditor's report, and has to get audited, and even LLP is the same. And for other businesses, if they are exceeding the turnover, then they have to necessarily get the accounts audited. For that also they need accounting. Few of the things as we discuss is what are the job profiles in accounting. So one is chartered accountant. Chartered accountant, I can say, is the obviously the prime job profile that you have got. So where all we can be there, we can be as in a company, we can be an account in the accounts department of the company, tax department of the company, business strategy, MIS, whatever. And then we can also be in a firm at various levels. So levels in most of the firms start at associate till partner, managing partner, and so on and so forth. So there are niche and carved out roles like technical partner, quality partner. So we are on the verge of now from SQC1, we are going into ISQM1. So that is the next thing that will be coming internationally. It will be ISQM1. ISQM will be from December 22. And maybe India has not yet decided the date, but then, we are on the verge of ISQM. So there will be niche carved out, positions for quality related, audit quality and quality related people. Also, a few of the interesting things is that you can be part of a software development team. For example, someone like someone who is actually preparing Tally. So just taking an example, so if Tally is giving you accounting solution, it needs accountants at the background to ensure that it is functioning, debit and credit are matching, and the software is made in a way that it has to be there. So that kind of testing opportunities are available in many of the software companies, and that's another role that you can actually, job profile that you can be looking into. Next thing, you can be a director of finance. One thing important that I would like to share is that eligibility criteria for women directors, and you know that many of the listed companies and higher market profile companies need a women director, and there is a shortage of women directors, as I read in one of the articles in ET. So there is a huge demand for women directors who have certain expertise in finance, because independent directors, and one among them women directors, is something that is mandated by corporate governance, and it is also a requirement by SEBI. So women directors are in demand. So this is another job profile that you can look at, and irrespective of the gender, director finance finance is a prime position. There are many companies who have a carved out position specifically for export director, import director, or only finance director, or only banking per se. Then also the risk management position, because enterprise risk management, that's also another role that you can actually look into. CFO, obviously everyone knows this very well. That's another premium profile that everyone looks for. Whoever is on industry side, they will always look for at some point in time that they want to be the CFO of the organization. The finance managers, plenty of finance managers are required. It's not only about managerial position in a company, it's about finance managers per se. That is the corporate debt or any kind of financing activities that they are looking into. That's what I mean by finance managers. So there are adequate number of positions that are available, and this is one of the jobs that can be freelanced as well. So director finance is again something that can be freelanced, and finance manager is something that can be freelanced. So you are into practice and you are doing it on your own based on your convenience and based on your availability. CPA, if you are a certified public accountant of either of the US, US gives the CPA. I'm sure most of you are aware that you get licenses based on certain criteria. So you can verify the accounts, you can help in accounting US GAAP. Most of this, a lot of US GAAP, US gas work is outsourced into India. Largely, many firms, many companies are taking advantage of it. They are actually doing accounting for them, and background verification, accounting, and all this stuff for US listed companies or US large companies. And this is a very good opportunity. If you're signing a listed company, that is, if you're auditing, then you run a larger risk. But then if you're helping them in accounting, if you're helping them in some outsourcing activities, if you're helping them in some background verification and all, these are low risk, well paid jobs, if you can say. Cost and management accounts, few of the factories and companies always look for cost and management accounts. So that's another thing that can be looked at as a job profile, basically. Financial controllers, yes, this is a niche position again. So a financial controller is the one who controls the entire organization's financials, financial needs, and then he looks at the overall preparation of the financial statement as well. So this can be another a job profile that can be there in accounting. Apart from this, obviously there can be outsourcing. Outsourcing is the largest this thing. And yes, accounting, in under accounting I put secretarial, not specifically as a company secretary, but then there are lots of secretarial positions that are occupied by accounting people as well, because there will be mid-sized companies who may not need a whole-time secretary, but the compliances can be easily taken up by the accountant level person. So from that angle, this will be a very good take. Now, outsourcing, when we talk about outsourcing, that is background accounting. For example, purchase accounting, only purchase accounting. So I have interacted with many firms who actually do this outsourcing work for n number of entities in Middle East as well as in US and UK and everything. So as we know, the labor over there is costly. Payment over there to a different level of people is costly. So outsourcing is very attractive, very easy for them. And India being the English speaking country, in the sense English understanding and speaking country, it's easier to interact and easier to get these accounts done. And we understand double entry accounting system, and that is the biggest advantage that many of the larger companies look for outsourcing. In outsourcing, there are various things. One is only accounting for, say, sales or revenue, or accounting for purchase, accounting only for payroll. So payroll processing is the largest largest, I can say. There are lots of firms, lots of companies who are actually set up with the very intention of running the entire payroll processing system in this country, and they are doing it actually for a lot of companies. And these are, as I said, that if you're signing the financials, then it is a high risk job, but these are actually low risk, very high reward jobs. And if you have these opportunities available, it's actually going to add to your kitty in a good way. Indias, yes, we have, ICI has introduced Indias, and then ICI has introduced Indias, and then MCA has made it compulsory to for certain type of companies. With the introduction of Indias, there comes a lot of opportunities. So earlier there was IFRS, and then after IFRS, the converged IFRS, which is suitable for India, is the Indias. So there are carve-outs, there are specific differences, but then it is Indias is something that is very much there, and to implement Indias and to ensure that these things are properly done, there is a huge force that will be required, because conversion to Indias itself is a huge opportunity. So existing IGAP, as is assessment, then gap assessment, and then conversion. This is a commonly known Indias service. We can further talk about various other services that one can provide. Few of the opportunities and few of the challenges that each one of us face in life. Opportunity, you can say better compatibility and enhanced linkage to international trade and business because of Indias or because of converged IFRS and other matters. There's easy cross-border acquisition and joint venture whenever a company wants to acquire someone, whenever a company wants to build a JV, then I think it's very easy if the accounts are on international standards. And that is why most of them prefer either as an Indias accounts or IFRS accounts. So you can see a lot of companies going on to IFRS accounts also voluntarily. New opportunities for professionals and business at large, because with all these things and world becoming world getting shrunk further, there are so much of opportunities that are getting developed for each of the professionals as well as business at large. Also, all these amount for from the company angle, this will amount to reduction in reporting cost, especially in case of multinational companies, because there are instances where a company is having operations worldwide, but their accounting is centralized at one country. So that can be in which is India maybe, and then the entire accounting is done from here. So there is a team that you will require, and then you can enhance that opportunity. So there are smaller companies also who are looking for such opportunities, and there can be, actually there's a second level outsourcing also that happens. If a firm is having such a large opportunity or such a large task at hand, it is looking for further support. So when you are looking for further support, obviously you absorb the local talent more and more. So it takes outsourcing from other firms as well. So with certain terms and conditions, the other firms also get included, other companies also get included, or freelancing from the market. So one opportunity links to the other, and then it actually creates a lot of opportunities in case of multinational companies. There are new opportunities in service sector, and the professionals are getting more and more involved in the service sector as well, because there's a lot of things that is to be done. Maybe GST accounting, GST itself is such a huge area which needs a proper accounting and proper sorting of things. What can be challenges is a lack of expertise and awareness about international practices. This is one of the things that actually, to get to something, to reach to a level, we have to put a lot of time and effort, and only with that time and effort we can reach to a certain level. So we have to polish ourselves, we have to get to the next level, we have to tie our shoes and start to run. So that's necessary. We need to look at more and more opportunities with a bigger eye, because we need to start getting ready for it also. And we need to be aware of the international practices that can actually change the entire game. Change of management reporting system and internal control. So at times this happens, and then whatever you have thought of may not happen in the appropriate manner. But then yes, that also in other words creates new opportunities. So there is no dearth of opportunity. There are a lot of things that are happening, and with so many things that will change, there will be so many opportunities also that will come about. Lack of awareness among users and stakeholders at large. Sometimes these compliances, accounting and all this stuff are just looked at as compliances, and the compliance cost, if it goes high, no one will like it. So instead of looking at that in that fashion, when the stakeholders and public at large start appreciating the fact, it will be easier to implement. But however, this remains as a challenge, as everyone may not understand it in the same spirit as it has to be. And changes in various laws, like as we discussed, companies act, SEBI regulation, taxation laws, banking, insurance laws, regulations. There is a continuous turnout, there is a continuous change in every law. So that actually point number 4 and point number 1 are interrelated, I can say, because you have to keep polishing yourself, and you have to keep reading and looking at new opportunities and trying to grab something, because we may not know everything at one go, but then if we put our effort, we can definitely get onto things and reach up to the speed where we can actually reach to a certain level and start doing the right work. What are the services that we can think of? We are talking about various opportunities. What are the services that we can think of? Assistance on preparation of first time adoption of Ind AS IFRS. So the as-is assessment, the gap assessment, the implementation of Ind AS is an elaborate work, and in some larger companies it is actually quite a bit of work. So now this chunk majority is in the past, but however, when the company is crossing a certain threshold, this becomes necessary, and this exists as an opportunity continuously. All you have to do is that you will have to keep evaluating, and you will have to keep thinking about it at the new horizon every time. Accounting opinions. Accounting opinions is largely gone out of the market, but then it is now in the form of white paper, I can say. So accounting opinions per se, there are so many complicated accounting positions that are existing. For example, Ind AS 3, Ind AS 109, and various other Ind ASs wherein certain positions are difficult to be taken. So there can exist a white paper with respect to various Ind AS. Also on IGAP, there are so many ESC opinions, but still there are typical business transactions, because as we know, accounting follows the business, and business cannot always follow the accounting. Accounting will have to be done on the basis of analogy drawn from other accounting. So simple, if we do not get something in IGAP, we go to Ind AS. If something we do not get in Ind AS, we go to IFRS. If something is not available in IFRS, we go to US GAAP. So all that ladder will keep happening, and then there will be complex accounting treatments that will be there, and then to support that, to ensure that people are following the proper accounting method, there will always be a requirement for these white papers or the accounting opinions. So that exists in IGAP, that exists in Ind AS, that exists very much in IFRS and in US GAAP, because not everything is written in accounting. There are few analogies that has to be drawn and then accounted for accordingly. If there is a new accounting framework, for example, a specific framework that is given by a legislature. Now let's take up the example of Schedule 3 itself. Not all the companies may be competent to prepare all the disclosures. So there will be opportunities to actually may prepare the financial statements. So the company may be, for example, having 4 accountants who are actually engrossed in their daily job, and then they used to prepare financials because it was a set practice, and then it is happening. But now this year there are so many 25 to 27 new line items that has to be added in the financial statements. They need a lot of guidance, and they need this to implement, because you have to prepare it for the current year and as well as the previous year, because corresponding figures have to be given. So there arises opportunity. So this is something that you can keep eyeing on. So SEBI disclosures. So listed companies may require some consultancy on how to disclose, what to disclose, how much to disclose, and things like that. So expertise in these areas will always be an opportunity that you can look at. Technical training, this is, I think, something very, very generic. Also it can be very, very specific. For example, now this schedule 3 itself, you can go and do a session with the client if he has 5 to 6 people in his accounting team, or if it is larger, or even 3 to 4 people. So you can do it on a chargeable basis. You can do it on a specific basis. For example, if someone wants to understand only accounting of merger and acquisition, because that company is going to undergo merger, so you can have a specific training for that accounting. If the company is going to deal with, say, cryptocurrency, so what are the pros and cons, what are the risks involved, what are the disclosures required, you can do a training on that. So technical training can be varied levels. IFC is something that I think as a continuous technical training is required, because there are so many updations that happen there. So actually we advise the client on all these things very often, but we can do it in an organized and structured manner, and we can do it in the form of a technical training. So there are many firms and many companies who actually, I would say, who actually run only trainings and who does only consultancy and trainings, and they are well placed. So we can think of that as an opportunity, because there are so many evolvements that are happening. If you are an expert in banking, there are so many circulars that come up. So we can run a session for the accounting team over there on a specific circular, and how it is interconnected with the earlier circulars, and what should be the stand, and what can be the stand, I would say, and how to account for it. Management memos for audit documentation. So as auditors, on the other side of the table, as auditors, we ask for a lot of documentation from the management. We need supporting, we need memos. For example, 116 last year, India's 116 on leases has come up. So how you have applied that? So application of 116 itself can be an opportunity. And in case if they have applied 116, then as an auditor, on the other side of the table, I will ask for a memo as to how you have decided, what are the conditions you have looked at, how you have decided that this is this is the ROU and things like that. For that, there will be a memo that has to be prepared by the management. Now management may not have so much time to prepare memos by themselves. This is another opportunity that can be taken. So these things can be something which is actually which can be actually based on understanding, can be done, and this can be provided. So management memos for audit documentation is something that is on behalf of the management, someone else is preparing, but management will understand it, sign it, and give it to the auditors. So this is another opportunity, you can say. Development of training courses itself, there are so many companies these days who does e-learnings. So development of the content for the e-learning, that itself is an opportunity. And now these are the things, the technical training, the development of training courses, software testing, all these are actually it's not a 9 to 6 or a kind of job. It can be done on freelance basis, it can be done on assignment basis, it can be done so these are not fixed projects. So people pick up people with expertise on project basis, on assignment basis, who are freelancers. So these things keep happening in the market. All you have to have is the right connect, and all you have to have is keep an eye on the opportunities. But these are the things that will let you work at your pace, but then will keep you in touch with the profession and will actually polish you to the next level. So I think these are things that actually can be picked up and can be enhanced more and more. Ind-AS conversions for IPOs. So, there are a lot of IPOs that have happened, and then there are more IPOs that are happening now. So the Ind-AS conversion for the specific purposes of IPO, and also Ind-AS conversion for the restatement and restatement support. So during IPO, as you know, for that 2-3 years, there is a host of things that are to be done, and management may not be having that much staff, that much time to do those things. So there is a separate implement IPO support activity that is done by few other firms. And also inside that, since they may not have the amount of staff, they will pick up from outside also. And there are this, Ind-AS conversions, restatements, memos, management decision analysis, all these things. So whatever we have talked about, all these things can also go into IPO, and there are a lot of things that we can actually pick up as opportunities over there in IPO related services. A few of the courses one can do after CA, or because to polish our knowledge and to get to the next level, one can be DISA, then there can be CISA, there can be CIA, which is internal audit certification. Now with all this, actually we can polish our skills and go to the next level. CFA, if you want to do CFA, then that's also for analysis and for forecasting and all. That's very handy and helpful. Then CPA you can do if you are willing to work for the US US gas clients. That will be very easy. ACCA you can do for IFRS, understanding the IFRS better, and also doing IFRS any kind of accounting or advisory or opinion based work. And also investment banking, if you want to get into specifics of the specifics of the IPOs or the strategy planning and equity research and things like that. Obviously CMA is something that will do the forecasting. There's another important opportunity in terms of accounting that we can talk about, is that financial forecasting. So financial forecasting is basically building up the Excel sheets, building up a lot of supporting for the future financial forecast, and it's a very interesting profile that you can look at. And that is also done by companies. They generally outsource it for the purposes of acquiring new instrument, for strategizing, for many things they need financial forecasting. So financial forecasting itself is a huge opportunity, and this is again something that can be done as a part of a firm or a company, or it can be done on freelance basis also. So that is another thing that can be available. And then obviously one of the courses that you can do is Ind AS course as well, if you want to be specifically polished and certified on Ind AS. I think there is a host of things that is available which you can actually do to get on to the next level, and also to polish yourself time and again. And you have to have continuous enhancements, you need to have continuous interactions, you need to have continuous reading, so that you stay relevant. It's simple that I have to stay relevant today so that I can understand the new opportunities. And then LLB also helps you, LLM also helps you in understanding the agreements, in understanding the legal papers well. So that's one of the desired thing. What are the types of things that we get in the market? There can be a part-time job, there can be a full-time job, there is a assignment basis, there is a freelance basis, and now the last one is a work from home. So we all know full-time basis, we all know part-time basis, freelancing, we all are very much aware, assignment basis. I would like to just dwell upon the work from home piece for a while. With this work from home getting opened, and because of this now there is always a good side and a bad side, or the right side of the coin and the sad side of the coin, I would say. One of the things that pandemic has done is it has made us more flexible. Now, for example, this virtual meeting is also happening because we are used to the virtual mode now. Now, thanks to organizers, Preeti ma'am and everyone, we are meeting seamlessly, borderlessly. Otherwise, someone sitting at Ranchi, someone sitting at Ahmedabad, someone sitting at Mumbai, meeting together, we had to physically travel for half a day, one day. Maybe we are now meeting at the click of a button, and after we finish this meeting, immediately we can go back to our next task. We don't have to travel for half a day, one day more. So that's the adaptability which we have. So we as human beings have been adopted the survival of the fittest theory is something that is actually existing, and then we have got adapted to this culture of virtual meetings, working from home. Now, what does work from home has also done is that for larger firms, larger companies, now they are not looking for someone who will come every day to office, someone who will be sitting in front of me and then I will be watching him what he is doing or what he is working upon. It has made life simple. You sit anywhere but you deliver my work, and this is my timing, timing, you adhere to the timing, or you work on the basis of your availability, but you get me the work done. That has opened the doors of so many talents, and it is a talent rush. It's also, there is a dearth of people also, and at the same time there is a talent rush. Some people say, for example, if I run a large firm and I am looking for say 100 people in audit, and I'm not able to source 100 people in Mumbai, I don't have to stick to Mumbai. Now I can go to any place in India. I just have to put an ad, and then people will approach me. So someone sitting in Bhopal, someone sitting in Indore, someone sitting in Kolkata, someone sitting in somewhere interior also can work for us. And that person in turn is getting opportunity to work for some of the largest or the marquee clients which me as a larger firm is handling, for example. So if I am getting some very good clients, and if I am having larger clients, then I can utilize that opportunity to have people from anywhere work for me, and they are in turn actually getting an opportunity to work for the larger companies, larger firms, whatever. So it is a two-way exchange that has become very freely available. So the world has become the market, in other words. And because of this also, international outsourcing is also actually very heavily flooding, because earlier secondment used to be, for example, from a company, if there is a secondment that is happening, if a firm a secondment is happening, it used to be physical secondment, which used to add to the cost of that person going there, staying there, his lodging, boarding charges, his food expenses, and all that. Now it's not like that. You set up an office here, you don't have to even set up a physical office here. You just choose a number of people, do the enable the laptop to have all the data privacy and others things, and then you start working. So there is nothing that, okay, this is the date on which I will go to office. Oh, okay, there is rain today, I cannot go, I will not be working today, and I cannot reach office, my train is late. Nothing. Actually, in the work from home scenario, it's borderless working and it is seamless working. Yeah, it has its downsides also at time, but then this, from the opportunity side, it has opened up floodgates, I would say. And this working from home actually has enhanced everyone's way of looking at, or it has changed the way of looking at the work earlier. So the things that were there in many people's mind, that if I am in office, then physically my team has to be in office, I have to see them, they can't leave before me, and all that stuff is gone. Now all we are focusing is on working. So this has actually opened up a lot of gates for all these things: virtual consultancies, e-learnings, a lot of you can say teaching profession, or the training profession, consultancy, everything has become free flow because of the working from home. That has been, I think, overall many people's experience that I have heard from. Few of the initiatives that I would like to place here, which ICI has taken up. I think there's a job portal specifically catering to the talents, and from where which you can register as an employer, also as an employee, and you can pick up people from there, and you can pick up jobs from there. WMEC, there is a specific women portal which focuses on enhancement and career growth of women, but it also provides various kinds of opportunities for people to actually interact. It's a virtual platform wherein actually people can easily interact, and it's easy to actually exchange ideas. Flexi working portal, I think this was launched 2 years ago, and this is for many of the women to come back to work who have taken sabbatical, who have taken break because of family and other commitments, and they want to come back. I think a lot of hiring has been done through this portal, because there is a lot of talent out there who actually must have discontinued or must have been on a break due to some reason, but they want to come back, and then they are not able to come back physically, they are not able to come back full time, but then there is a lot of things that are available there, and then it's a good experience to interact with people, get to know new people, and also to they picking up new work from here, and from the employer, and the employer picking up new employees from such seamless backgrounds. I think largely with respect to opportunities and challenges, that's what based on my experience now, this is something that I just put up my thoughts and experiences that I have, and everything that I have experienced in the last few years of practice, as well as in the last 2 years because of the pandemic and the changed situation that we have. That's what on an overall basis I wanted to just throw some thoughts, throw some open ended opportunities so that we all can think together and we all can better ourselves as well as others. Open for any questions, any thoughts, any suggestions.
Thank you, Padma Shri ji. We have a few questions. If it is okay, we can take the questions now.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please, Anjali ji.
Yeah. Ma'am, it has been 8 years. I clear my CA exams. My profile is being rejected. What additional certificate course can be done and how I can start?
Okay, I'm not sure which profile you are talking about. It can be anything ranging from auditing to accounting to taxation to anything, I'm assuming. One of the things that we need to do for ourselves is also looking at the soft skills that we have. So as I say, for example, I conduct a few of the train the trainer kind of courses also within the firm for people who are doing the first time training or something. So there has to be some soft skill aspects that we may have to develop. Technical knowledge is very necessary, but after you reach a number of years of experience, along with technical knowledge, you need to have certain amount of soft skills like managing the like managerial skills, promotional skills, few of the overall interaction, and all those. So I think if you're too much of an introvert, it's not going to help as well. I'm not making any personal judgment because I don't know the person who has asked the question. In general, I'm just answering. So if I'm too much of an introvert, it may not help. If I'm too much of an extrovert, it may not help. Keeping a balance is necessary, and something that we have to do on ourselves is identify, make a SWOT analysis for ourselves, identify few of the strengths, weaknesses, and we need to work on our weaknesses, and we need to kind of portray ourselves in a better manner. So I think you are 8 years experience, but you are superb maybe in your technical skills, but something that the interviewer may not be feeling is, for example, again, I don't know you personally, I'm just putting across the thoughts. It may be the confidence that you portray, it may be the body language that you portray, it may be a few of the things that you are actually not, you are not able to articulate what you know. You may be knowing hundreds of things, but then how much you articulate is something that will be decided in half an hour, 1 hour. So we study for CA exams for 3.5-4 months, but then what we write in 3 hours is something that's going to matter. So it's the same thing. I think you may have to work a little bit on that, and should be good in whatever way you want to upgrade your skills. If you are into accounting, auditing, whatever, you have to do a relevant upgradation. It may not be a certificate course maybe, but you may have to read more to be more relevant and current.
Absolutely right, Padma Shri. You need to have a SWOT analysis done, identify your strength and weakness, and of course, the area in which you want to go, whether it's an accounting or which areas you want to go. Thank you, Padma Shri. There is another question which says that you have shared various job portals available at ICI where we can look for flexi working options, work from home. According to you, which are the other sources? Let's say if I'm a CPA, or let's say I have done a CFA, how would I look for opportunities? काम कहाँ से मिलेगा हमें?
Yeah, there are various ways of getting work, if I can say. So one is obviously your networking, not in terms of networking regulation, your own network as to how you interact with people, how much people remember you. So again, for that you will need some soft skills to be done. But then how much people remember you, how much you interact with people, how do you network with people, and some sources and things like that. So your present employer, past employer, your acquaintances, you everything you may have to search for getting the work. Other than that, if you're looking for part-time work, flexi working hours, there are freelancing portals that are available these days. Even on naukri.com or on a shine.com or on a monster.com, there is a specific section which is available for freelancing, for part-time working and all that stuff. So if you want specific roles with one company, then you can go there, or otherwise assignment basis and things like that. Lot of firms, lot of companies keep happening, that you will get through connects.
Okay. Thank you. And one last question to go. Specifically, when this last 2 years and now the journey ahead, the work from home and the flexi working hours is the need of the hour. How, as an employee, or whenever we take an assignment, how do we decide the fees, or what are the criteria or the factors to be taken into consideration while we quote the fees or the remuneration for the part-time work?
Okay, so let us break it into two pieces. One is fees and second is remuneration. If we look into the fees, so the time and effort that will be involved will be the prima facie consideration for determining the fees. You may have advantage of scale because you are not paying the rent of the office, you may not be paying electricity bill of the office and things like that. So you may have to consider that piece into your quote. But however, if you need a good quality work, then you will have to pay irrespective of where you're working from. That may be few of the criteria. Now few of the clients will be there who want you, now everything is okay, everything is normal, please come back, please come back, please come and sit at my office. They want to see you. So if that is the case, then you will have to consider those factors. You will have to actually, at the time when someone is calling you for a proposal, you need to be very clear, how do you want your deliverable to be, whether you want online audit, whether you want offline audit. For example, few of our clients are still okay with online audit, so we don't go to their office. Okay, few of the clients say, nahi, you come and show me your face. Okay, hi, hello, I am there, I'm alive. Okay, so it doesn't matter how I work, but then my work is getting delivered. So the working efficiency, so when you are actually deciding the code, at that time you will have to consider these factors. How much will be your online and how much you will be offline, because anyways you will be working. So by working online, now immediately, as I said, immediately after this meeting I will switch on to another meeting, so that saves me time. But it also has a disadvantage that I lose a personal connect. If for example I would have met Anjali ji personally, there may have been a different connect, right? So that we are losing on, so we need to balance it somewhere also. So taking that into consideration, yes, the prices have not reduced largely, is what I understand or I feel. That's my personal opinion. Obviously the prices for any of the services have not decreased, but we will have to take into consideration few of those things. Now we used to, as auditors or as accountants, we used to also charge OPE factor is largely gone now, because client understands that. So OPE factor is largely gone. So that factor gets built into the fees in a way, because you will have to provide the infrastructure for your staff to work. You will have to provide them with a laptop. You will have to provide them with an authorized, antivirus center. You will have to provide them a proper working environment. You will have to provide them a dongle, for example. So all these things add to your cost. So that you will have to factor in when you are doing this. And while deciding the employee remuneration, yes, you can specifically call out if you're giving a completely part-time working from home kind of an environment, then you can cut on certain things. For example, few of the companies I have heard and few of the firms that I have heard, so they have now come back to the hybrid model, like 2 days in a week you come to office. If you want to completely sit at home and work, if you're a nodal employee, say you are 5 years experienced, if someone who is actually agreeing to come twice to office or agreeing to travel anywhere for any work, he will have X as his salary. If you are completely wanting to work from home, they are telling you upfront that you will be X minus 10%. Okay, those kind of models are being decided now. For example, between me and Anjali ji, I'm just giving an example. So if Anjali is flexible, working, traveling, everything, she may be getting X amount, and if I want to completely work from home, then I will be getting X minus 10%. or someone will decide that whenever you travel, you will get an additional allowance. If you are working from home, then this will be your salary. So we both will be at X number as a salary. If I travel, I will get an additional allowance. If she travels, she will get an additional allowance. So those are the things. And then remuneration per se for part-time generally is at, it's never at 50% of what you get if you come to office. It will always be in the range of 60 to 55 to 70% when you're working from home, because if you're working from home, if you're working part-time, actually that 4 hours gets into 7 hours, and if you're working full-time, 7 hours gets on to 12 hours. So I think it's never at the rate of 50%. It's always, in my experience, it has been 55 to 75%.
Thank you for explaining in detailed both the aspects, the remuneration and the fees part. There are two more questions. In ICAI, the initiatives you mentioned about the job portal, where we can find it, and can you elaborate more on it?
So, you can just go to the ICA website and then click at the opportunities or the job portal, and you can find that. WMEC is a specific website, and Flexi Co-working portal is also a specific website. You can go there, you can create a login, and then if you are an employer or if you are an employee, then you can register yourself accordingly. And if you are an employee and you registered yourself, and if some employer wants to connect with you, you get a email or mobile as the preference that you have given, a message or an email on that, and then it happens like any other job portal like Naukri or whatever. So it acts as a similar job portal. It's a platform where it tries to connect the employer employee, and then it asks you for all the details. What's the salary that you expect, whether you want part-time, full-time, which city, or you are irrespective of city, you can work, and online, offline, all that questions are there, wherein you have to create a profile, put up a CV, put up a photo, whatever, and then you can get onto it. One of the important things I would like to mention, even though there's not a question, you have to write your CV properly if you want to get onto a good place. You need to highlight your key strengths and what you can do. One of the important things I would like to say is, please do not copy the format of CV from anyone. You can take the format, take the headers only, but then write your CV yourself so that it reflects what you are. Many a times when we take interview, we come across a person who has written everything on the CV, but he has not done anything. Or he has not written anything, but he knows a lot of things. Both things are not good. Because if you know a lot of things and if you don't write, it will be a loss because you won't get picked up. And if you don't know many things and if you write, then it becomes an integrity or honesty issue. So both ways it is not good. You can pick up the format, but then you need to spend some time and effort in writing the CV.
Absolutely. So my dear members, quickly get yourself registered at the Women Portal, and what you write in your CV must match your personality. अगर आपने लिखा है कि ऑप्टिमिस्टिक हो और आपका फोटो दिख रहा है कि मैडम तो हंस भी नहीं रहे, so of course that matching needs to be done. And ma'am, just one quick last question to go. Is business planning analysis profile good for a chartered accountant?
Sorry, which profile?
Business planning profile, good. Business planning profile, business planning analysis profile, good for a chartered accountant.
Yeah, I think financial analysis, business planning analysis, BPA is a very enhancing portfolio. I don't think so that there is anything. So we have basic understanding of, so there are many CAs, as you know, who are CROs also, chief risk officers of bank or insurance companies as well. So you have that ability to analyze the business. So business analysis is something that we do always, either as an accountant, either as a tax professional, either as a or as a auditor. We are always analyzing business, and we have been taught to do that, in the sense that throughout our curriculum we know how to analyze the business. And yes, to enhance your this thing, you can do CFA or CMA or something, or MBA also, so that you get that enhanced skill of analyzing additionally if you're looking at a very high profile. But other than that, I think largely I have 2-3 friends who are business process analysts and they are doing quite well.
Great, ma'am. Thank you on behalf of ICI and especially the Women Members Empowerment Committee, on behalf of Chairperson Shripriya ji and Vice Chairperson Preeti Savla. We are really grateful to you to have a lovely and enriching session. You explained the whole landscape of accounting with so much fine lines and with full details. कि assistant क्या कर सकता है, CFO क्या कर सकता है, manager क्या कर सकता है, and I'm sure all the participants will have a much greater clarity कि हम accounting में क्या कर सकते हैं. And it is rightly said by madam, audit का काम हो या ना हो, but accounting तो पूरी जिंदगी रहने ही वाला है. और वो हमेशा, it's better that it's now right time, whether it is Indian accounting or outsourcing, it's right time that we also look accounting as the emerging opportunity. In fact, it's not emerging, it's always there. But yes, due to more compliance, it is a better, a lucrative opportunity. So we are grateful to Padma Shri ma'am for sparing her valuable time and answering all our questions. We are really grateful to you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Anjali. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again. Thank you.
Same here. Same. Look forward to see you at Ahmedabad, ma'am. वो हमारा personal connect बाकी है.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks everyone for patient listening, and thank you so much.
Thank you. We quickly start our second session. The esteemed faculty has arrived. I would request CA Mamta Sheth to take the session ahead. Hello, Vinita ji.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, ma'am. I'll just, Mamta, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Anjali, madam. Thank you. Thank you once again for giving me this opportunity for introducing Vinita Kejriwal ji, madam. She is Kolkata-based financial advisor. She manages 170 crore assets with an SIP book of 85 lakhs. She caters 700 clients. She's a chartered accountant and a certified financial planner. She's the founder director of her company, Vinasan Financial Services Private Limited. She's aggressively passionate about mutual fund and feels there is no other alternative for wealth creation. The risky decision to leave a cushion job paid off about 10 years later and cemented her place in predominantly male sector. She has received various awards like Excellence in Finance Management to me Anaya Award 2020-22, Women Achievers Award Kotak Mutual Fund, Chairman Circle ICICI Mutual Fund, Contribution to Business L&T and SDFC Mutual Fund. She has written articles in Economic Times 3rd March 2022 and Sanmar. She is associated with Business Network International BNI, Federation of India Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Women Entrepreneurs Enclave, Ladies Club, Winning Tree, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and India Se India Mein, Dubai based. Thank you. With this brief introduction, I now request Vinita Kejriwal to take ahead. Thank you so much.
Over to you, Vinita ji. I think you are on mute, ma'am.
Just 1 second.
Yeah.
So, at this onset, first of all, I would like to thank the committee for giving me this opportunity. And my topic for today is the financial literacy to the women. We all know this, why this financial literacy is very important. It is generally perceived that money is men's domain, but we need to break this myth and come out of that. A woman's best protection is little money of our own. So we would all believe that कि अगर हम थोड़ा भी बचाएं, जो भी बचाएं, अगर हमारा अपना हो, तो that is really very much important to us. One-way traffic. See, we all earn, even if we are independent, लेकिन कई बार we have to depend on others, generally our partners, as per their choice. We have been advised कि हम ये खरीदे, ये नहीं खरीदे, ये purchase करें. Maybe if it's for shopping, jewelry or anything. अगर हम अपनी savings or investments खुद ही plan कर ले, if we take that lead forward, we can say that अपनी भगवान है. Generally, these are the attitudes, or these are the social patterns, or these are the acronyms which are used for us. वो संभाल लेगी, समय ही नहीं मिलता, हम समझ नहीं सकते. Because it is believed and perceived that women are made for this only. But if we have to break this tradition and come out of this myth, we need to understand, have this literacy about the finance. We have all seen this movie. This movie, say we understand what is the relevance of this movie. This, even if this Bagban, we had once, small learning कि retirement में भी हमें अपनी retirement planning का बहुत पहले we should take such kind of lead and do this retirement planning. Health as well. Generally ये होता है कि health की जब बात आती है, like we take care of our physical fitness, तो हमें अपने health insurance के बारे में भी सोचना चाहिए, because generally it is said कि health है, लेकिन health insurance के बारे में हम उससे सोचते नहीं है. So this is the same. If we see the data, 20% of the women is still not being taken their insurance policy. Again, this is very important goal for all of us. Children which are close to our heart. हर एक बच्चा यूनिक होता है और हर एक बच्चों का सपना अलग होता है. But generally, when it comes for the children's education, it is the male who only takes the decision. But why not we as a female can take these decisions? अगर हमें अगर थोड़ा भी पता हो, if you understand what is finance all about, we can also plan and take this lead ahead. See, these are the data generally we see कि women outlive their partners by 5 to 7 years. 90% of the divorce cases end up being conflicts of money. My kids will take care. हम ये कई बार सोचते हैं, but generally, why should we depend on others when we can independently plan our investments? Give power to your purse. So when you have the power to your purse, you also have a power to take your financial decisions. अगर हम एक अपने 10 रुपए का नोट ले और उसे if we don't invest and keep in the bank account, तो that will not give you anything. But अगर हम उसे properly invest करते हैं, that will give you more kind of investments with the returns. I wanted to make this presentation with few, Bollywood, because इससे हम relate कर पाएंगे. Inflation, we all know about the inflation, but we generally tend to forget when we plan our investments. हमें investments को देखना है कि what is left out after the inflation, the real investments returns. We generally forget this because हम जो पहले खरीदते थे, even if you need to understand this more effectively, the kind of prices we used to pay earlier और आज हम जो खरीदे, there's a lot of difference. It same happened, and there's one very common feature in both the movies. This movie, Hera Fairy, or the serial Arya, I think we all are familiar with this. कि इसमें भी एक ransom amount मांगा गया था, इसमें भी एक ransom amount था. But you will see the difference. It was in 2000 and this is in 2019. The amount which was asked here, it was 20 lakh. Here it was 300 crore. So even when the Bollywood industry understand the power of inflation, we as an investor should understand and take inflation into our hands before planning our investments. So these are the things which we use in our day-to-day life, because चाहे वो हमारी cosmetics हो, चाहे vegetables हो, the prices are moving up and up. It is not going to stop. Recipe for the dream. So we all have our goal, because we discuss about the retirement, we discuss about education, we also discuss about even if you need to buy, even if you need to move out, vacations, everything nowadays is a goal. So if you can demarcate, and if you can break your goals, maybe in the terms of short term, medium term, and the long term, your investments also can be planned accordingly. Suppose if you have a short term goal, which is to buy a mobile phone or jewelry, that is a 1 year kind of goal. So your investment product will depend according to your risk appetite and the duration for which you're looking forward. So same with the medium term goals, when you have to go out for the vacation, or even if you need to plan to buy a car, you can invest for the product which suits your risk appetite. So even though there are few long term goals, which is like your retirement, your child's marriage, child's education, for those also there are different kind of products. Are you sipping it right? So we all have heard the terminology SIP. We all know this SIP, which is a systematic investment plan, because article we see this mutual fund hi sahi hai, that's a campaign which is running on and on. So we are aware about the SIP. So I also mentioned earlier कि जिस तरह हम अपने physical fitness के बारे में सोचते हैं, at the same time for you the financial fitness is really very important. So SIPs are generally systematic investment plan where you're investing through mutual funds month by month. So it helps you to average the cost of investments very prudently. So this is one of my investors' portfolio. You can see the one who is invested in 2011. The amount was 2,80,000. The amount has been, with the return of 15%, the amount has been to 10 lakhs and plus. So if you stay invested, you can make such kind of returns. I mean, timing, it's more important to be in the market rather than, time the market. We all have heard about this rule, or if not, we can see 15 into 15 into 15 rule. If you do SIP of 15,000 for 15 years at the rate of 15%, your amount can become once year. It's only 27 lakh which you have paid. So if you only change the period, which is if you do SIP of 15,000 at the rate of 15% for 30 years, your amount becomes more than 10 crore. So it is only, we have all studied earlier back also, it is a magic of compounding, because N, which is there at the top of the multiple, it multiplies your investments. This shows that the time and the timing is important for the wealth creation. So we also know about this 8 wonder, 8 magic, because compounding, we all know that there are 7 wonders, hum sab ne suna hai, but this is the 8th wonder, which is if 1 rupee can become 2, it can become 4, it can become 8, and then 64. It is all about the power of compounding. So this is very, people who are in Mumbai, they would agree to this. The time we become more late, jitna hum subah late hote, utna it becomes really difficult to catch a trade. So in the context of this finance, if you have to see the time, the more delay we start our investments and the planning, the more it becomes difficult to reach to your destination. But it's never the late. You can start your investments at any point of time, but one should give a thought to this, because generally people take it little second priority and doesn't give too much importance to it. But nowadays, it is really very important to plan your financial planning at the proper and right time. How to survive the equity roller coaster? Because people can say this equity markets are really volatile, and there's a risk which is involved in this. But if you have this pointers, that if you focus on the long term, buy more when the markets are falling, don't try to time the market. Earlier also mentioned that you should spend more into the market.
I'm really sorry to interrupt, but the slides are not moving.
It's not moving?
Yeah.
Now?
No, ma'am. We can just see the first slide. Invest into your future.
Okay. But I don't know how it's moving from here.
But the screen is not moving, ma'am.
Just 1 second. Huh?
Ma'am, I suggest you can do the screen sharing again and try.
Share. Can you see this now?
Yeah, ma'am, we can see the first slide.
Still, you can see the first slide only,
Yeah.
but it's moving from here.
No, ma'am, we can just see the first slide.
Can you ask the audience as well? Because it's moving from here. I don't know what's.
In fact, I got it, the feedback I received from the audience only. Just a second, let me check again with the audience.
Yes, ma'am. Only the first slide is visible.
Just 1 second. I'll just.
Now it's moving, ma'am.
Now it's moving, yeah.
Now, yeah. It's working. Now it's working fine, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll just go through the slides once again, but I spoke, but still just 1 second. So this was the first which I spoke. These are the instruments which is available in the market, which you can plan for your future planning. This is which I said a women's best protection is a little money of our own. We all would agree and believe to this. Agar hum thoda hi bachaye, kuch bhi kare, if it is our own, we would have different kind of feeling and the ownership when we say. So this is, I also spoke about this. This is a one-way traffic. What happens generally, we need to depend on our partners we have to buy, we have to go for the vacation as per their choice. But when we earn, when we have power to our purse, we can take our own decisions. These are the attitudes and the social patterns. For us, generally, it has been said that कि वो संभाल लेंगे, समय नहीं मिलता, हम समझ नहीं सकते. So these are the conventions, traditions, and the acronyms which are used for us. We need to break this and come out of this. This I wanted to relate with the retirement because generally we have seen this movie where Bagban mein the whole theme was around the retirement because they were dependent on the children, but it happened at the end that that they had to face a lot of difficulties and problems for their finance and to be taken care. So I also wanted to speak about why health is also really very important. We need to take care of our health because generally we forget about, taking health insurance. It is very important that as a female, we also need to understand why this health insurance is also equally important. Then I spoke about this child's education because every child has a unique dream, but we all know that children are very close to our heart. But when it comes for their education planning, it's only men who decide and take the decisions. We as a female and as a mother can also take decisions when we have this kind of financial literacy. This is actually the data which we all know that women outlive their partners by 5 to 7 years. 90% of the divorce cases end up because of the conflict of the money and the alumni. And my kids will take care, which we have generally seen in the movie. In last slide also we have seen that because in the generally what we see that in the case of retirement and everything, we have to be dependent on the child. Give power to your purse. When we have power to our purse, we can take our decisions out. Because if we don't, saving is one part and investing is other. Generally, what happens, we tend to forget that we earn, but we don't save. And if we don't invest, your money would remain the same. Just for example, if you have a rupee note, if you have kept that rupee note in your almirah, and if you take it out after 10 years, that would remain same 10 rupee note. But once if you have invested somewhere, we all would agree that 10 will give you more power. So I spoke about this also, inflation, why it is important because of the, I gave an example of this ransom money, which is there because in the 2000 year when this movie came, the ransom money, which was 20 lakh, the same ransom came to 300 crore. So when the Bollywood understand the power of this inflation as a villain, why not we as an investor should understand before planning our investments? This is like our day-to-day things when we buy the vegetables, even we go for our shopping and everything. So we see that the markets are going, the prices, sorry, are going up and up. So this is, we have to plan again investments according to this. So generally what happens, there are different types of goals in the life. Like you have short term, you have medium term, and you have long term. So short term goals are to buy even a mobile phone or any jewelry or TV are your short term goals. For that, the products are different even for your medium term and even for your long term. Because what happens, there are products, once it should suit to your risk profile, your risk appetite, and your duration. So SIP, which is one of the most important part. So I spoke that systematic investment plan. It gives you a chance to get into the market in a systematic and a disciplined way, which helps you to mitigate the kind of risk which is there if you plan it through SIP, because it gives you the opportunity where your average cost is also reduced. This is one of my investors' testimonial, you can say, where the investor was doing the SIP since 2011, and the return was approx 15 and 15.5%. So if you're investor in the market, you can get such kind of decent returns. So, time in the market is really very important rather than timing the market. Generally, this question comes, the markets are high, where the markets will go, what will happen to our investments. For those, the advice would be, you have to be investor rather than, timing the market. So I also spoke this 15 into 15 rule. If you do SIP of 15,000 for 15 years at the rate of 15%, your investment can become once a year. But at the same time, if you just shift your investments to 30 years, it can become 10 crore. Just shifting your investment from 15 years to 30 years is the power of compounding. So power from compounding, I again mentioned, this is the eighth wonder. Actually, it works for your investments. This is like, it happens in Bombay. The more you delay your train, it becomes really difficult to catch that local because the crowd and the rush become more and more. It happens same for your investments and all. If you delay more, it becomes difficult for you to reach to your destination or your goal. So as early as you plan your investment, makes your time, life and the plan easy to reach to the goal. How to survive this equity roller coaster? We all know about this particular ride. So it takes you to ups and downs, but we all enjoy these ups and downs. If it goes in the linear fashion, we would say, ye kya ride hai? There's no adventure. It is same with the equity market. There are ups and downs because nothing can be into the linear fashion. But since if you're invested in, you can buy it low and you can sell it high. Thank you so much. This was a little compact kind of presentation because otherwise the subject is really very, very wide. So I'm open to question and answers. Any kind of questions, I'm happy to take that.
Thank you, Vinita ji. Let me take few questions. Ma'am, you have any idea about the Married Women Protection Act?
So that is MWPA Act is more towards the insurance and all, because in that, those are not attached and all when we talk about the MWPA Act, but it doesn't work in the mutual fund sector. That's more to do with the insurance.
Okay. Another question is, if I want to create my own portfolio, according to you, how should I allocate my portfolio? Which are the things that is first essential कि ये होने ही चाहिए portfolio में? the second stage of priority ke ye aap kar sakte ho for growth. So according to you, how we can have a very balanced portfolio?
सी पोर्टफोलियो में कोई टेम्पलेट नहीं होता है. जनरली देयर आर फ्यू रिस्क प्रोफाइलिंग व्हिच हैज टू बी डन, बिकॉज आई सेड अर्लियर कि क्या उसकी रिस्क एपेटाइट है, व्हाट इज दिस और एज क्या है, सो व्हाट इज द ड्यूरेशन, व्हाट शी इज लुकिंग आगे के लिए. सो अकॉर्डिंगली एक पोर्टफोलियो बन सकता है. बट टू बी मोर प्रिसाइज और हाइपोथेटिकली अगर हम बात करें, अगर किसी को अगर द एज ऑफ ब्रैकेट वी आर इनटू मे बी 35-40 में भी है और कुछ सेविंग करना है मे बी फॉर अ पीरियड अगेन 5-10 years, तो उनके लिए आई वुड सजेस्ट कि कुछ प्रपोर्शन दे कैन गेट इनटू इक्विटी, बिकॉज देयर आर टू फेजेस ऑफ द लाइफ. एक होता है कि हम वेल्थ क्रिएट करें, एक होता है वेल्थ प्रिजर्व करें. सो मे बी व्हेन यू आर प्लानिंग योर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स इन, यू आर इन द फेज ऑफ वेल्थ क्रिएशन, तो हमें उस तरह के प्रोडक्ट या इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स में करना है जो कि इन्फ्लेशन को भी बीट करे, टैक्स के बाद भी आपको ऐसा कुछ एक रीजनेबल रिटर्न दे जहां पे यू कैन ग्रो योर वेल्थ at some reasonable return. So for that, the underlying asset would be more towards equities. So maybe through direct equities, if you have that acumen or intelligence. Otherwise, mutual fund is the best way because सबकी अपनी expertise होती है. So let give to those people जिनके पास ये acumen or intelligence है.
Thank you, Vinita ji. Again, one more question relating to the discussion we had. How do we decide which type of mutual scheme we should select? What are the criterias or factors we should keep in mind while deciding a mutual fund scheme?
See, क्या होता है ना, there are a lot of mutual fund schemes in the industry. So more than 44 fund houses, more than 1,000 schemes. तो उसके लिए बोलते हैं ना कि गीता में जैसे कृष्ण ने उनका सारथी बन के साथ दिया, तो उनके लिए हम जैसे एडवाइजर होते हैं जहाँ की हम डे इन डे आउट यही करते हैं. बट टू बी जेनरिक एंड स्पेसिफिक, अगर म्यूचुअल फंड की कुछ आइडिया हो तो आज के दिन में इंफॉर्मेशन इज अवेलेबल, बट यू नो दैट बिहेवियरल मैनेजमेंट या ट्रस्ट करना उनके लिए एडवाइजर्स की बहुत जरूरत होती है. तो आपको अगर बेसिक नॉलेज भी है इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स वगैरह के बारे में, देन यू नीड टू सी लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स बिफोर यू नो टू चूज दोज इन्वेस्टमेंट्स. तो आपको फंड हाउस देखना है, उनका कंसिस्टेंसी देखना है, यू नीड टू सी द फंड मैनेजर इज मैनेजिंग. सो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ पैरामीटर्स बिफोर चूजिंग द इन्वेस्टमेंट्स एंड द म्यूचुअल फंड्स.
Okay, two more questions. Are mutual funds better or equity shares better? What are your views?
इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर पहले भी था कि इफ यू हैव दैट टाइम या आपके पास वो इंटेलिजेंस एक्सपर्टीज है तो यू कैन गेट इनटू द इक्विटीज डायरेक्टली, क्योंकि म्यूचुअल फंड का भी अंडरलाइंग एसेट तो इक्विटी ही है. बट हम उनको दे रहे जो कि बहुत और प्रोफेशनल है, जिनका डे इन डे आउट काम ये है, उनकी अपनी टीम होती है. But if you understand or the one who is asking the question understand the market more, they can get into the equities directly as well.
And how we can exclude the risk factor?
रिस्क के लिए मैंने एक उसके मेरे स्लाइड में बताया था दी एन विच इज देयर एज अ मल्टीपल, वही हमारे हाथ में इफ यू स्टे फॉर अ लॉन्गर टाइम, बिकॉज ना तो रिटर्न आपके हाथ में है, तो इट्स ओनली वन विच इज देयर इन योर हैंड इज टू बी इन्वेस्टर फॉर द लॉन्ग टर्म. एंड लॉन्ग टर्म मतलब कि एटलीस्ट फॉर द 10 years आपकी साइकिल एक होती है हर इन्वेस्टमेंट की. तो मिनिमम अगर आप 10 years तक कोई भी इन्वेस्टमेंट रखते हो इक्विटीज में, यू कैन गेट योर डिजायर्ड रिटर्न्स.
Vinita ji, I remember this saying, risk hai to ishq hai. So it depends on your risk appetite. अगर risk appetite ज्यादा है तो आप equity shares में करो, risk appetite कम है तो be safe and enjoy mutual fund.
Exactly. मैंने कई कुछ दिन पहले भी पढ़ा था, कई बार होता है ना रिस्क नहीं लेना भी एक रिस्क है. तो इसीलिए हमें थोड़ा ही, चाहे वो रिस्क एडजस्टेड या कैलकुलेटेड ही रिस्क लें, बट थोड़ा रिस्क लेना बहुत जरूरी है.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There is another question which says that should we go for fundamental analysis or we should follow equity technical analysis while making investment in equity?
See, दोनों ही component is really important. क्या होता है ना कि कुछ इन्वेस्टमेंट्स जो फिलोसफी होते हैं वो सिर्फ टेक्निकल बेसिस पे किया जाता है, कुछ फंडामेंटल पे. हर एक प्रोडक्ट के एट्रीब्यूट्स एंड फीचर्स अलग होता है. बट पैरेलली इफ यू हैव टू सी, दोनों ही एनालिसिस इज रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बिकॉज हम फंडामेंटली मैक्रो नहीं समझेंगे तो उसके अलावा प्रोडक्ट में देन आल्सो वी कांट चूज द प्रोडक्ट. एट द सेम टाइम दोस टेक्निकल एनालिसिस इज आल्सो रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
Thank you, Vinita ji. There is a question from Pallavi, but she has mentioned what do suggest about F. I don't know what is
the
F.
AIF.
Huh.
See, this is थोड़ा सा और जैसे टेक्निकल वाली बात आई, तो इट्स ऑल्टरनेटिव इन्वेस्टमेंट फंड्स. तो ये एक प्रोडक्ट होता है कि बहुत ही एडवांस लेवल यू कैन टॉक अबाउट. द मिनिमम टिकट साइज इज 1 CR एंड एवरीथिंग. सो ये प्रोडक्ट के बारे में देयर इज लॉट टू से. बहुत सारी कैटेगरीज है उसके अंदर. सो इट इज लिटिल एडवांस वर्जन फॉर द इन्वेस्टमेंट्स. बट इन ट्रेंड है आज के दिन में, कई बातें होती है ना बुटीक वाली. प्रोडक्ट वही है, बट दोज आर लिटिल बुटीक प्रोडक्ट्स.
Yes, Vinita ji, and thank you so much for answering. Acha, again, yes, the more you converse, I'm getting more and more questions. Still,
That's good. I mean, अच्छा कई बार होते हैं क्वेश्चन नहीं, या तो कुछ समझ नहीं आया, सब कुछ समझ आ गया. तो it is really good that brainstorming has to be there.
Correct, absolutely. And still we have time, so we can take few questions. Any view on sovereign gold funds and gold ETF?
Yes. So generally क्या होता है ना, गोल्ड के लिए जब हम बात करते हैं तो देयर आर डिफरेंट एसेट क्लासेस. सो ब्रॉड कैटेगरी जैसे बात होता है कि इक्विटी, डेट, फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट, रियल एस्टेट, एंड दैट कम्स गोल्ड. तो गोल्ड भी एक एसेट क्लास है, लेकिन जब हम वेल्थ बिल्डिंग का बात करते हैं ना, तो गोल्ड में वी डोंट हैव दैट हायर अलोकेशन, बिकॉज गोल्ड को हम लोग हेजिंग प्रोडक्ट के हिसाब से लेते हैं. सो आउट ऑफ योर पोर्टफोलियो अगर हम देखें तो डिसेंट रेशियो हो सकता है. 4 to 5% आप अपने पोर्टफोलियो का एक गोल्ड में अलोकेशन ले सकते हैं. उस गोल्ड में जाने के लिए देयर आर अगेन डिफरेंट वेज. You can go through ETF, you can go through gold savings fund, or even you can go through sovereign gold bond funds, which is ये गवर्नमेंट का होता है. गवर्नमेंट कम्स ईच एंड एवरी टाइम ऑन एंड ऑन. इसको SGB बोलते हैं. सो देयर इज अ लॉक इन पीरियड ऑफ 7 years, एंड देन 2.5% इस पे इंटरेस्ट भी मिलता है, अदर देन योर गोल्ड विच इज योर आपको जो मिल रहा है. सो अगर किसी ने गोल्ड में नहीं किया है तो दैट इज अगेन वन ऑफ द बेस्ट ऑप्शन टू गेट इनटू द गोल्ड थ्रू SGBs.
Okay. What is the course available for a chartered accountant to come into the investment in shares?
Okay. There are a lot of courses. एक तो मैं भी कर रखी उसको बोलते हैं CFP, which is a certified financial planner. And if you go through the NSC or Qualify India, a lot of academies are doing a lot of courses अभी finance के ऊपर. तो NSC का भी काफी सारे courses हो रहे हैं, म्यूचुअल फंड, वेल्थ मैनेजमेंट, फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग. There are a lot of courses which is available.
Absolutely true. I myself is a doctorate in derivatives. Okay. And NSC and BSc has a whole landscape of exams. Right. So whether you want to do it from academic level or whether you want to actually go into that field, तो बहुत सारे हर एक levels के है, cash market, derivative market. So you can start your journey there. Vinita ji, there is one more question. There is rating or performance of mutual funds. How do we, what is the analysis? How do we, what are the guiding factors we should take into consideration?
See, generally देखिए क्या होता है ना, कोई भी परफॉर्मेंस या रेटिंग स्टैग्नेंट नहीं होती है. So only on those basis one cannot take the decision, because आज हम मनी कंट्रोल में एक स्कीम का अगर रेटिंग कुछ देखते हैं, परफॉर्मेंस मे बी आफ्टर अ मंथ दैट कैन बी चेंज्ड. तो हमें जनरली उनके ऊपर नहीं जाके द पैरामीटर्स एंड द फंडामेंटल अगर फर्स्ट देखे उसके लिए the consistency, the fund house, the management, those are really very important, because ratings and rankings keep on changing. So it is nothing which is stagnant, because this industry itself is so dynamic कि हर factor change होता रहता है.
Let me check. Okay, one more question to go. I was just thinking why crypto is not. What is your opinion on crypto as investment option? Is it safe?
See, generally I'll tell about this crypto. I don't know much about this crypto, but क्या होता है ना कि कुछ भी नई चीज जब आती है ना ट्रेंड में, तो people tend to get into it. लेकिन अभी तक हमको यही नहीं पता कि उसकी अंडरलाइन चीज क्या है. Why this crypto is, क्या है जिससे कि क्रिप्टो ऊपर जा रहा है, नीचे जा रहा है. सो माय हैंड इज नॉट मच ऑन द क्रिप्टो. सो जनरली आई डोंट हैव इनटू माय प्रोडक्ट बास्केट में भी क्रिप्टो का अभी तक वी हैवंट डन एनीथिंग ऑन दैट. सो इट्स वेरी इजी. अगर किसी को करने के लिए बिकम्स इजी, बट उस करने के लिए जो हमें एक एक्यूमेन और स्पेसिमेन चाहिए, दैट इज रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो आई डोंट हैव मच आइडिया ऑन दैट.
I think you explained wonderfully well, and the participants are really very active. I can see questions coming in east, west, north, south, all parts of India. So I would now request CA Manisha ji is here, Manisha Biyani ji, to propose a formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Anjali. Am I audible?
Yes, Manisha ji.
Okay, thank you. So it was a wonderful, informative session, Vinita ji. I also feel that women somehow think that handling finances is not their cup of tea. They somehow rely on the male members of the family for taking financial decisions. But gone are the days. Now it's a must, as you said, that the females should have that financial literacy so that they can take their own decisions, be it for a part of investing in any of the funds, or be it part of their life and life decision, like of their children education, etc. I would like to thank CA Pramod Jain sir, Central Council member, who joined us and gave an overview on opportunities in accounting and INT AS. CA Padma Shri Krasto for deliberating on opportunities in accounting and INT AS. CA Vinita Kejriwal to make us aware of the financial instruments available in the market where we can invest and earn handsome amount. I would also like to thank WMEC committee headed by CA Shri Priya Madam and CA Preeti Savla Madam to organize such knowledgeable sessions for us so that we can move towards excellence. I would like to thank the patient listeners of today's BCM and who are quite active in giving questions and participating in today's BCM. Last but not the least, I would like to thank my co-host, CA Mamta Sheth and CA Anjali Choksi for being there in conducting the program flawlessly. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Manisha ji.
you.
Thank you,
Yes.
Vinita ji. A very
Thank you so much.
evening to all the participants, and it was really glad to see you all. Look forward to meet you. Thank you all participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mm.